it's time to visit the product feed again. Maybe this was a headache for you to start with in the first place, or maybe it was a walk in the park, but we'll need to look at it again to see what changes, if we can make any changes to improve our performance. I'm not talking about fixing errors or warnings in Google Merchant Center. These should be fixed by now. I'm talking about a feed with all the items approved, to which we're going to make changes that will improve the performance. So we take a look at the optimization pyramid. Where's this lesson really going to impact our campaigns? That is at the ads level. Having a better product feed will get more visibility for our products and will increase the click-through rate of our ads. Because when you're deep down into the optimization or analytics reports, it's sometimes easy to forget what Google Shopping really is. It's a comparison search engine. So you're appearing right next to your competitors. And if you're selling the same product for the same price, the ads are gonna look very, very similar. Maybe you have a different title or a different price or a different image. What can you do? What changes can you make to your product feed to actually have an impact? And truth is that there's a lot of conflicting advice about all of the things you can change to your feed, or changes you should make to your feed to make them better. And a lot of that information is untested and unproven, or simply false. Like I once had a client come to me saying that somebody recommended to him to rewrite all of his product descriptions to get a better performance from your shopping feed. And sometimes this isn't a bad idea, but it's for other reasons than your product description. Your product description needs to be good for people that land on your website to get all the information and to get convinced that they should buy the product. But changing it won't have any impact at all on your shopping campaigns. So what has the biggest impact? Well, the first one is price. Having a lower price gets you better results. And the second one is a product title. So now we're going to look at both of those and actually see what we can do to impact those. First of all, the price. When I mention price, I'm not talking just about the product cost, but I'm talking about the total price, which is the cost of the product plus other costs involved. Usually that's shipping. Sometimes people charge a handling fee. So that's the overall price. And if you have a lower price, you will see your impressions, your sales, your clicks skyrocket. But many times, your price is a given, especially seeing the current level of your sales. It will be hard to negotiate better pricing or something. So if you can change your price and you're in that situation, don't overbid, because the top slots, the first couple of products in the shopping results, are often for products that have a good price, especially that first slot. So if you can't match that price, don't overbid, because you'll just waste a lot of money that way. The second most powerful thing you can work on in your product feed is your title. And there's two parts to this. On the one hand, you want to make sure that your product titles are keyword rich, which will improve the visibility, which will get you more impressions for search queries. And second is that you want to make sure that the word order of your product titles is correct. And this will improve the click-through rate if done right. So these keyword-rich product titles, this is really where your product feed meets SEO. Because SEO works in the same way. If you have like keyword-rich product pages or category pages, or the keywords really drive the SEO. So you want to make sure that you have the relevant keywords in your product titles. You can check this by looking at your search terms report and seeing for which keywords, which products are appearing. And for the most part, Google is pretty good at this. They do a pretty good job of matching your product title to other keywords, even if it's not a one-on-one match. But let me give you an example. So I had a client and he was selling a brown leather satchel bag with his own brand. And this was doing okay, it was getting sales, but then we stumbled onto something interesting. So then we went to look at the keyword search volumes, and we saw that a satchel bag actually gets around 14,800 monthly searches, which is a good amount, but with this product we got a bit, we got more specific ones like leather satchel bags or brown satchel bag. But then we went to look at how this product was actually used, and a lot of people were buying it to transport their laptops from home to work and we saw that a laptop bag actually has 40,500 monthly searches. And people looking for a satchel bag and a laptop bag, it's not exactly the same, but it was worth trying out. And so we changed the product title for this product for a while to see if it had an impact, and we saw that we actually were ranking for a lot more searches, so the number of impressions and clicks went up, and we made more searches because a lot of these people were also qualified buyers, so this was a good move. Second part about better product titles is to have an improved word order, and when talking about this, it's important to know that there's a title cutoff, which happens around 30 characters. Like Google constantly changes their interface and how everything looks on mobile or desktop, but it's around these 30 characters. So if your important elements are in the back of your title, there's a good chance they will get cut off and people won't see it. So a good example of that is here a search I did for fish oil. So here you can see 5 different products. And the last product actually doesn't mention anything about fish oil at all. The other one mentioned it, like the third one has something around for cod liver oil, which people know like is pretty similar. The others also target omega-3 searches, but this last product just puts their brand first, California Gold Nutrition. And I don't really know the brand, so I don't know if it's a big brand and people in this market would know it. But the image says omega-3, and then the fish oil, it's a little bit smaller, but still, like the most important part, like the fish oil or the omega-3, isn't there. So that might be a point of improvement for this brand. Important elements should come first. But what are important elements? That depends a bit on the product, but it can be brand, gender, category name, color, size, weight, quantity, a format, anything like that. And as I said, it really depends on the category. And for example, you can have like a black Nike hoodie extra large, or you can have a stainless steel kitchen knife. A company called DataFeedWatch has created these interesting formulas that you can use to power your feeds depending on the category. So for example, for apparel, you'll have brand, gender, product type, attributes. Attributes can be color, size, material. So for example, you could have a Nike, maybe not gender in this case, but you will have a Nike hoodie, a Nike black hoodie, extra large, or Nike black hoodie, Nike hoodie black, extra large, for example. They have these formulas for all kind of categories. So you have one for consumables, you have one for hard goods, you have one for electronics, one for seasonal products, and one for books. So what I want you to do from these two parts that we had, on the one hand, looking for the right search queries, like look through your search terms report and think about how your products are used, and maybe if you can go beyond that a bit. Second is to reevaluate your word order for a couple of your categories. Like look through these formulas and see if you might be able to improve your product titles using these formulas. So then, if you have better product titles, maybe you kept them in a Google Sheet or something, or in a different spreadsheet, and you have the old titles and then the new titles. How do you get them into your feed? Well, the first option is to change it in your e-commerce backend. So that will make it look like, that will change the look of how your products are listed on your product detail page. So maybe you don't want that because it has a certain look or style to it. That's okay. Maybe you can use the SEO product title on the product page. On platforms like Shopify, they have like two titles. They have one actually for the page, and then that's used by search engines. And often that one is also used by plugins or apps or something for Google Shopping, because they also need these keyword-rich titles. Or your third option is to change your title only in the product feed and to use something like Google Merchant Center feed rules or to use data feed management tools. These last two are a bit more complex, but I have lessons on both of them in this advanced optimization module. So check those out to learn how to use your product titles and to how to change them using these tools. So as a last bonus tweak, I told you that images can also make the difference. I wanted to show you some recommendations what you can do to stand out with your image. The baseline is pretty easy. You have to have images that don't suck. Extras are if you have a high quality image, a transparent or white background, and no text or watermarks. Especially if you get like a very low click-through rate compared to the benchmark CTR, for example, and you've already got your keywords well filtered, bad product images could have something to do with it. So I always recommend to look at the search results and then see if your product images are really that much worse. Because this can be a huge sink of money and time. Making product shots is expensive, so you don't want to redo them just on a hunch or something. Let me give you some examples of interesting product images. So here's, for example, a search I did for running shorts, and you can see that actually they're not doing like a white background, transparent background. These are actually shorts being worn by models and by good looking men who actually wear and show these shorts off a bit. You can immediately get a sense for the length of the short and how if they're stylish or not. Second here is for cables. So this is not a regular product image. The third one with the pink border actually has like two images put onto each other. Like you can get a better feel for what this actually is or which colors there are. And here you can see the last one, the fifth ad, actually has the least professional image of all the other shoes, but it stands out in this lineup. So maybe that's something you could try. So this is just to show that you have some options, but it will require some creativity, and it's not always worth the effort to really get like special looking shots if your product images are all right.